Welcome back to AI Explained. Today we're going to be looking at something that's been all over the headlines recently.
Oh yeah.
It's the relationship between Elon Musk and OpenAI.
It's been an interesting one for sure.
You can say that again. We've got a ton of material to dig through,
Yeah.
emails, public statements, even a whole timeline from OpenAI's website.
It's really a lot, and what makes this deep dive so interesting to me is that we're not just looking at like a typical business deal gone wrong.
Right.
This is about like two completely different ways of thinking about the future of AI.
Okay, so let's back up for a sec.
Sure.
Elon co-founded OpenAI in 2015.
Yeah.
It was set up as a nonprofit,
Right.
and the goal was to develop AGI safely and, make sure it benefits everyone.
Right. AGI, that's artificial general intelligence.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But now he's running XAI,
Yeah.
a direct competitor to OpenAI.
Yeah.
So,
What happened?
well, you can actually see some early signs of trouble in the source material.
Yeah. Yeah. There's an email exchange from November 2015.
Got it.
It was just before OpenAI launched publicly.
Okay.
And Elon actually suggests a totally different structure for the organization.
Interesting. So what did he want to do?
He thought they should go with like a standard C Corp,
Okay.
but with a separate nonprofit running alongside it.
Hmm.
His argument was that it would help them attract talent and get more funding.
Makes sense. And this is back in 2015,
Exactly.
before the whole AI boom really took off.
Yeah.
Do you think he was already thinking about the massive amounts of money they'd need to stay competitive?
It's possible. And as OpenAI started doing more research, that need for speed and for money, it really became clear.
Yeah.
By 2017, they were saying they needed billions of dollars.
What billions would it be?
Yeah, billions just to cover the computing power to train all these increasingly complex AI models.
Give us an example, like how much computing power are we talking about?
Oh, it was massive even back then.
Yep.
So one of their projects was building an AI to play Dota 2.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's a really complex strategy game.
Right.
And their research showed that to make an AI that could actually win,
Yeah.
they would need a ridiculous amount of computing power.
Like how much?
Thousands of CPU cores running at the same time just for a single experiment.
So even back in 2017, they were pushing the limits of what was possible.
Yeah, they were. And this was just one project.
Right.
Think about what they would need for like truly groundbreaking AGI research.
Yeah.
They'd need way more computing power, and that means huge costs.
So both Musk and the OpenAI leadership agreed that they needed a for-profit arm.
Yeah, they both saw that as necessary.
Okay, but that's where things start to get a little messy.
Yeah, this wasn't just a disagreement about needing more funding.
Right.
It was about control.
Control of what?
Well, according to OpenAI, Musk wanted majority equity. He wanted to be CEO. He basically wanted total control over the direction of the company.
But why was that so important to him?
Well, there's this really interesting part in the source material where Elon mentions that he needs to raise $80 billion.
$80 billion for
For a city on Mars.
a city on Mars.
Yeah, it's clear his ambitions go way beyond just Earth.
It does sound pretty ambitious.
Right. And he sees AI as a crucial part of achieving that goal.
Wow. It's almost like he thinks AI is essential not just for progress, but for like the survival of humanity.
I think you're right on the money there, and it fits with his whole philosophy, right?
Right.
This idea of moving fast-breaking things and using technology to solve these huge existential problems.
Yeah, so his desire to control OpenAI, it came from this deep belief that he knew the best path forward for AGI.
Yeah, and to be fair to him, that kind of thinking has led to some amazing things.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look at SpaceX and Tesla.
Right, exactly. But in this case, his vision clashed with OpenAI's mission.
Right. Their focus is on ensuring that AGI benefits everyone.
Exactly. And they say it directly in one of their statements.
What do they say?
The goal of OpenAI is to make the future good and to avoid an AGI dictatorship.
Wow. Yeah, that's a pretty clear contrast to Musk's approach.
Right, and it shows that they were worried about the dangers of giving one person too much power.
Right, especially with something as powerful as AGI.
Exactly, and it's important to remember that OpenAI isn't against progress.
Yeah.
They understand the need to move quickly,
Right.
but they also believe in ethical development.
Right, so this difference in philosophy, this clash of visions,
Yeah.
that's what led to the split.
You got it. OpenAI rejected Musk's terms, and he resigned in early 2018.
But even after the breakup,
Oh, yeah?
the story's not over.
No, it's just the beginning.
And that's what we'll get into in part 2.
Yep, the split was just the start of this whole saga of ambition and competition and the race to control the future of AI.
I can't wait to find out more. So Listeners, make sure to come back for part 2 of this deep dive into Elon Musk OpenAI and the future of AGI. Welcome back to AI Explained. So in part 1,
Yeah.
we talked about this big clash between Elon Musk and OpenAI.
Yeah, there are different ideas about how to develop AGI.
Right, like Musk's focus on moving fast and using tech to solve those big existential problems.
Yeah, and OpenAI's emphasis on making sure AGI benefits everyone and doing it safely.
Exactly. And even after Musk left OpenAI, things didn't exactly calm down.
No, they did not.
In late 2018, he sent them an email
Uh-huh.
and basically told them they needed to raise billions per year immediately or forget it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he even compared them to Blue Origin falling behind SpaceX.
Yeah, that sounds like him always pushing for speed and scale.
Right, like he was convinced that massive investment was the only way to win the AI race.
Yeah, and it sounds like he was getting impatient with OpenAI's pace.
But was he wrong, though, about the funding issue?
What's a good question?
I mean, we talk about how much computing power this research needs.
Yeah.
Could OpenAI really achieve their goals without a huge influx of cash?
That's the dilemma they face.
Yeah.
On one hand, they needed those resources,
Yeah.
but they were committed to their mission of responsible AGI development.
So how do they balance those competing priorities?
They came up with a really creative solution. In
Yeah.
2019, they announced a capped profit structure.
What's that?
Basically, it puts a limit on how much investors can earn.
Hmm.
So investors can still profit if OpenAI is successful,
Right.
but the profits are capped,
Right.
which means the focus stays on developing AGI safely and ethically, not just on maximizing financial gain.
That's a really interesting approach. It seems like a genuine effort to balance their need for funding with their values.
Exactly. And there's something else in the source material that I found really interesting.
With that.
Musk had no financial interest in OpenAI, and he was actually offered equity multiple times, but he declined.
Wow. So if it wasn't about money, then what was driving it?
It seems like he was mostly concerned about control and direction,
Yeah.
making sure that AGI was being developed in a way that aligned with his vision.
Right. Remember, he sees AI as crucial for humanity's future.
Yeah, even going as far as saying we need to become a multiplanetary species.
Right. To mitigate existential risks.
Exactly. And his plan to build a city on Mars, that's all part of that belief.
And AI is a key piece of the puzzle for him.
Absolutely. So you have OpenAI moving forward with their capped profit model, attracting investment but staying true to their mission.
Yeah.
And then in 2023,
Elon jumps back in.
yes, he forms xAI, a direct competitor to OpenAI.
It's like he couldn't just sit back and watch AGI being developed in a way he didn't agree with.
Yeah, like he had to get back in the game and do things his way.
And then there's that open letter he co-signed calling for a pause on AI development.
Oh yeah, that was a big deal.
A lot of people thought it was aimed directly at OpenAI's GPT-4.
Yeah, it's hard to say for sure what his motivation was.
Yeah.
On one hand, there were genuine concerns about the risks of unchecked AI development.
Right.
But the timing was interesting.
Yeah.
And it definitely seemed targeted at OpenAI, who were the leaders in the field at that time.
So maybe a little bit of gamesmanship mixed with some real concern.
Perhaps, but regardless of his reasons, that letter brought up a really important issue.
What's that?
The need for responsible AI development.
Right.
It forced people to think about what could happen if there's a runaway AI arms race.
And that's a conversation we need to be having.
Absolutely. It raises the question, what does this competition between Musk and OpenAI mean for the future of AGI?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? And that's what we'll be discussing in part 3 of this deep dive. Welcome back to AI Explained. We've spent the last 2 parts going deep into the story of Elon Musk and OpenAI.
Yeah, they're split. There are different visions for the future of AGI.
Exactly. It's a wild story, but now I want to look ahead.
Yeah, the future.
What are the possible scenarios for AGI?
Right. And what does it all mean for, everyday people?
Right, the people who aren't building AI empires.
Well, it's tough to say for sure.
Yeah.
Predicting the future, especially when it comes to something as complex as AI,
Yeah.
it's tricky. There's no crystal ball.
Right, but we can at least explore some possibilities, right?
Absolutely. So one possibility is that this competition between Musk and OpenAI,
Yeah,
it could lead to a rapid acceleration in AGI development.
like a certain breakthrough.
Yeah, we might even see AGI surpassing human intelligence in our lifetime.
Okay, that's exciting and kind of scary.
Yeah,
What would that even look like?
that's the big question, right? Imagine AI that can solve problems that have stumped us for centuries.
Yeah.
Curing diseases like cancer or Alzheimer's, developing clean energy,
Yeah.
unraveling the mysteries of the universe.
Those are some pretty big goals, but couldn't that power be misused?
You're getting on a crucial point. The potential benefits of AGI are huge,
Yeah.
but so are the risks.
So how do we make sure we're developing AGI responsibly?
It's not an easy answer. It's going to take a lot of work.
Yeah.
OpenAI talks a lot about transparency,
Right.
independent audits of AI systems, and making sure AI aligns with human values.
Right. Those are good starting points. But what if this competition doesn't lead to a big breakthrough?
That's another possibility.
Yeah.
What if we see more of a gradual evolution of AI capabilities?
More like a steady progression, like the internet.
Yeah, exactly. The internet has changed our lives over the past few decades. It
Right.
wasn't a sudden thing. It happened slowly, almost without us noticing.
All right.
AGI could follow a similar path.
Okay, so we've got rapid breakthrough versus gradual evolution. Any other scenarios?
Well, one more, and it's a bit of a wild card.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
What if this competition leads to a divergence in AGI development?
Divergence, how so?
Imagine Musk and XAI. They develop an AGI focused on his goals, like colonizing Mars.
Okay.
But OpenAI develops an AGI that's more about benefiting humanity.
Right.
We could end up with two very different AGIs with different priorities and values.
That's fascinating and potentially dangerous. Would they cooperate, compete, or clash?
It's a question science fiction has been asking for a long time, and now it feels like a real possibility.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine how it would all play out.
Absolutely, but the way these different AGIs interact could change everything.
Okay, my head is spinning, so much to consider. But before we wrap up, any advice for our listeners?
Yeah, how can they stay ahead of the curve with all this uncertainty?
Exactly.
The most important thing is to stay informed.
Yeah?
This field is moving fast. Read articles, listen to podcasts,
Yeah.
engage in discussions. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Knowledge is power, right?
It is. And don't just passively consume information.
Right.
Think critically about it.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to have an opinion. What kind of future do you want to see?
Right. What kind of future do we want?
Exactly. How can we ensure that AI benefits everyone?
So be informed, be engaged, and think for yourself.
Exactly. We're all stakeholders in the future of AGI.
That's right.
The choices we make today will shape the world of tomorrow.
Powerful message. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into the world of Elon Musk, OpenAI, and the future of AGI.
My pleasure.
And for our listeners, be sure to subscribe to AI Explained for more deep dives into the fascinating world of AI. Until next time, stay curious.